Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzi, host of the Leaders Without podcast. Today, I have another great episode, special episode with one of my good friends to the podcast, Mr. Nikhil Rughani from Australia. He's a killer, top expert, ninja, whatever you want to call him, a copywriter. But today, we're going to be talking about something quite exciting is working on. And he told me a little bit a few days ago. And once I heard about it, I said, hey, listen, this is beautiful. This is powerful. This can be actually transformational for the right people who actually implements it. And I would like you to come and talk about it more in detail. So this is why he's today for. So Nikhil, brother, welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure to be here, my friend. Always a pleasure to be here. Yeah, and I'm really excited to be here with you and share with you the insights that we've got. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
It's going to be a good one. Pleasure all mine. So before we even get into that, tell us and
Mm.
tell us, who's Nikhil for people who don't know you?
So, by day, I call myself copywriter extraordinaire. I'm the guy that people come to when they want to, basically drive more leads, convert more sales, and grow their revenues through the power of copy and the written word. So, I'm very much a specialist in conversion optimization. By night, many things. Superhero, Batman, I don't know. Like the way I like to describe myself is I've been a keen observer of what's been happening around the world, and I've got a passion, right, for the natural health industry. So I've been doing a lot of work around there, and that's, I guess, where we are today, right?
Beautiful. We're going
Yeah.
to dive into that. So now, tell us briefly about, you started a little bit. Tell us a bit more about your background and how you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I've been a professional writer for about 21 odd years, but early on in my career, I didn't think I could make a career from writing. Um, and I got really, really interested in coaching, and I got really interested in learning, personal growth, and I got really interested in that natural therapy side of things. So I thought I'd start my business as a life coach, and that didn't go too well. Um, I lacked the fundamentals of sales and marketing. So I thought, what I need? What I need is I need to go out there and understand what people want in terms of modality. So I went and studied hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, and I thought, look, this is good. This is the stuff that's really transformational. Surely that sells. And yeah, that didn't do too well either. So in the process of me studying sales and marketing, in the process of me studying it, I came across this thing called copywriting when um, my employer at the time told me, your ads are really good. Have you considered becoming a copywriter? And I had no idea what a copywriter was, right? And so as I was, the second time he told me that, which was a couple of years later, I decided to go and Google copywriting. I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this stuff all along. You can make a career out of this? And so I took a bit of a detour on my path and learned copywriting, and I set up a copywriting agency. And as time's progressed, we've been serving coaches, we've been serving people in the transformative business, those who are out there, helping people with their health, their relationships, helping them to transform themselves spiritually, but also in their businesses as well. Um, that's really what my background. That's how I kind of got into business, and that's how my business really grew, and I was able to make a dent in the world. Um, we've always been working with ethical people. We've always been working with impact-driven businesses. But my passion and love for natural health has always been there. And a little while ago, I thought, let me go and indulge myself and start studying Ayurveda, which is it's a very ancient system of healing, which is used throughout India and the subcontinent. And a lot of people, if you're familiar with yoga and stuff like that, they get really into Ayurveda, which is a 6,000-year-old school of healing, which people are still using now, and it's got a lot of evidence base to it as well. And I started studying that, and I realized, what's really interesting is I realized as I was talking to a lot of my fellow students in my program that they were really struggling to get clients. And I had no issue. I had no issue. Like I'd get clients, we'd sit down with my mentor doctor and we'd do it. And I wasn't doing it from the point of view of making money. I was doing it from the point of view, firstly, to heal myself because I've got a gut disorder. But secondly, also, is like, this stuff's amazing. Why don't more people know about this? There's 42 kids, or I say 42 kids, there's, adults and ranging from 21 all the way up to 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, right? And all of them are facing the same problem. They don't know how to get this magical knowledge, this beautiful school of thought out there. And then I see that it's been happening everywhere. It's not just Ayurveda. It's been happening with naturopaths. It's been happening with hypnotherapists. It's been happening with health coaches. And that's kind of what, I guess that's what brought me here today, you know?
Beautiful. We're gonna get into that in a
Mm.
moment. One sec. All right, man. That's awesome. Happy to hear that. Now, tell us, in your experience, tell us more about what you're working on and what you're about to launch. Because from what you told me, that
Mm.
sounds like a game changer. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on my iPad in just a second. Yeah. In fact, let me do that now. Let me bring on my iPad because I like drawing pictures. So if you're able to give me permission to share, that would be epic.
Yeah, one sec. Share. Where is it? Screen share. Oh, no, not mine, but yours. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. So let's start our broadcast in 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Okay. So I'm just going to bring up this blank sheet over here. And let's wipe that away. So here's what I'm finding, right? And I'm going to modify this diagram a little bit because I'm going to freehand draw it. And I'm a fantastic copywriter, but I'm a terrible graphic designer. So I'm going to freehand draw this. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to modify it a little bit so it doesn't look terrible. But let me explain what it is I'm up to. As I mentioned, like I've been studying, Ayurveda, but I've studied as hypnotherapy, I've studied NLP, and the same issue seems to be coming up over and over again for everyone. Yeah. And it's like they just don't know how to build their business. They don't know how to get their clients, right? They're really struggling. And the biggest struggle that I'm finding with a lot of people right now, especially those that have been struggling for a while, is they can't hit that magical number of 10K a month. Yeah. Now, we look at it and you think 10K. For many people, it's like, well, that's fantastic. Anyone can make 10K. But for a lot of people that are in the natural health industry, they're facing a lot of issues. And I want to go through that.
So is there anything on your
right?
screen? Because I'm not seeing anything on your screen. I just see a white blank screen.
I'm about to draw it out for you.
Okay. So, okay. Never mind.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
So here's what I'm looking to do. I'm going to draw this as a triangle. I think when I showed you, I drew it in circles. But because the intelligence on this thing makes it easy to draw in a triangle, I'm going to use a triangle. So the big major hurdle is to get consistent revenue. And the first revenue milestone is 10K a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, some 10K could be US dollars, could be pounds, could be Australian dollars. I want to look in terms of, the dollars market, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 10K per month. And when I looked at that, what is really struggling? Why are people really struggling to hit 10K a month? And when I look at it from that point of view, I realized that most people have the same issue I did when I was practicing or trying to practice as a life coach or a natural therapist, right? The first problem they're facing is that people are not aware. Oops, let me just try that. They're not aware. Well, what do I mean by not aware? People don't know what NLP is. People don't know what biofeedback mechanisms are. People don't understand what's EFT. They don't understand timeline therapy. And as a result, people are too busy trying to sell the modality. Yeah. But no one knows what it is. And so there's a bit of healthy skepticism around it. The second problem that we're facing is that they're at a point where they can't leverage themselves and they need money, right? They can't leverage themselves because they don't have money. And so they really need to make more money, right? And the sad thing about it is if they don't, they're going to struggle to actually grow their business further because they want to do things like advertising and they want to do things like, special campaigns. They want to use special softwares and stuff like that. But what they do need is they need some money because they've also got bills to pay. They've got mouths to feed. They've got responsibilities, right? So that's the other issue that they're facing. And the third issue is I'm finding that most people, the health coaches, natural therapists, or healers, they seem to be in this position where they're chasing clients. Okay, that's a massive problem. Okay, that's a massive problem that we're facing. And this is why they're struggling between the combination of all three of these, right? Combination of not having enough money, not having enough awareness out there, and chasing clients makes it difficult for them to hit that 10K a month. Okay, so what I'm looking at doing is I want to see how can we solve this issue, all right? And so the program I'm putting together is really looking at solutions. So we know that people are not aware, but what we need to do is show you as a health practitioner, as a natural health therapist, as a healer, as a health coach. We need to show you how to make you aware, or make people you aware. Not you, because you already know who you are, but we want to make your ideal customers you aware. Okay, so now they're not buying the modality, but they're buying you. How do we get them to understand you? And I'll talk about that in just a second. The second thing that what we need to do is over here is to go from a place where you're needing money is to go to a place where you are able to create abundance, right? Creating abundance is like, oh, I don't have a shortage of money, but it's also about that whole way of actually presenting what it is you do. And I'll talk about that in just a second too. And then the last issue that we're facing is how do we go from people who are chasing clients to how do we get people to be able to get hot leads, right? How do you get them to a point where they're able to get hot leads? Because that's what we want. We want to give you hot leads. We want to make people you aware, so they're aware of you. They don't care how you get their solution, right? And I'm going to go back down to this point over here. See, too many people in the health industry, they're too busy trying to push what it is they do as opposed to the result they get and who they are. And that's why people don't know the difference between all these multiple modalities that are out there. Like at the end of the day, the person has a problem and we want to give them a solution, because when you can give them a solution, they're likely to come to you. But when it comes to you or the solution, then people will flock to you as a person, not to your modality, right? But to you. And the way we make your ideal clients you aware is in 3 steps, right? So the first step, I'm going to draw this out. See, I like this thing because it allows me to kind of make it nice and straight. So it makes me look like a fantastic graphic designer. First thing we want to do, right, is we want you to choose your client. And I call this process about choosing your client similar to like choosing your own pizza, right? But some people get so lost in this, and when you don't choose your client, it's very hard to get your message out there. It's very hard to get your marketing out there. So the first thing is we need to choose who's the right client, who's the right niche for you, who's the ideal customer. Then what we need to do is, based on that, is we need to go into that next step, which is about reading their mind. Now, this isn't some psychic skill I'm talking about. Reading their mind is about really getting to understand them. Yeah, because one of the things I learned, I read this amazing book, which just confirmed for me, and this book was called Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, which actually is what inspired me to study Ayurveda. And what we're saying, what the 125-year-old teacher is teaching his student in this book, is that the greatest need human beings have is the need for understanding. Not love, not money, nothing like that. It's about understanding. So if you can understand your ideal clients better than they can understand themselves, the power of that is that they automatically attribute you as having the solution. So first of all, you need to understand them. And then what we need to do is we need to craft a message. Okay. And we talk about, everyone talks about, does it resonate? Well, the only way you can get a message to resonate with people is if you know who it is you want to target and you know what they're thinking. Because then when you can almost intercept their thoughts, you can read their mind and tell them the stuff that's in their mind, they're going to automatically attribute you with having the solution. So what we do is we're shifting people from becoming not product aware, but becoming you aware, not modality aware, but you aware. See, at the end of the day, right, your ideal client has a problem they want to solve. They're not going to care whether you do it through coaching, whether you do it through, through tapping. They're not going to care whether you do time on therapy. They're not going to care if you do, a rain dance, as long as they can get the solution. So that's the first shift that we're looking to make. The second shift is how do we go from a place where you're needing money to creating abundance? And this is an area which a lot of natural therapists and a lot of health coaches and a lot of healers are struggling. So this is where I want to really make this nice and easy for them. Okay. The first thing that we want to do, and I'll divide this into 3 as well, because we've got 3 solutions or 3 steps to this solution. The first one is about how do we design your package. Because what we do is we design a package so that you're not just selling $150 consultations or a $300 treatment, but rather you're selling value, right? Which takes us to the next part is once you build a package, people know exactly what they're getting. What you're going to do is make that more compelling. And that's where we talk about building value, which is the next part over here. Okay, we want to build value. And then once we have designed the package and we've stacked it full of value, and value is not stuff. And I want to make that really clear. Value is not saying, I'm going to give you, 10,000 ebooks, when who's got the time for 10,000 ebooks? Do you know what I mean? Value is not, I'm going to give you 50,000 videos to watch, because no one's got time for that. Okay? Building value is an important distinction. We're going to show you it's not about stuff. It's about how do you help people get closer to their goals? How do you get them faster to their goals? And that's what's value. You've got to build value in the mind of the customer, of your ideal client. All right, that's who we've got to build value in the mind of. So that's what we've got to do. And the third part is then what we're going to do is create the pricing. Ooh, that's a bit squashed. I'm just going to clean that up. Let's do that. A little bit of a perfection somewhere. So create pricing. If you can demonstrate value and you can make your package very appealing, then creating a pricing is just about making it simple for that person to buy from you. Because right now, then you don't have to be someone who's selling, a massage for $150, or you're not selling, a naturopathic consultation for $200. Maybe now what you're doing is you're designing a package or a program for them where they're going to get a very definite solution and with valuable support along the way. Therefore, if you're going to help them get a solution, you'll be able to give the pricing the way you need it. The last part, I guess, is how do we get people to go from chasing leads to getting hot leads? Sorry, chasing clients to get hot leads, right? And Payman, I know this is part that we had a good chat about. Again, we've got 3 steps to do. And the first one was giving invitations. And I know that's something you're quite passionate about.
Yeah, inviting as opposed to chasing.
Yeah. So the way I look at invitations is that a lot of people are like, I don't want to make sales, it's too sleazy. I said, well, okay, how about giving invitations? And people get this, I think they overthink this sometimes. The invitations we want to extend is like, hey, look, my daughter's having a pool party for her 14th birthday. I'd love for you to come along. It's going to be a lot of fun, right? It should be as natural and as uncomplicated as possible. Mm-hmm. The second thing we want to have a look at is how do we get referrals, right? Mm-hmm. So how do we get referrals? And a lot of that comes down to having the right partnerships in place, right? It's about having the right referral systems in place. I mean, there's so many different models for referrals right now that people get confused. There's collaborations, there's joint ventures, there's affiliate marketing, there's partnerships, there's channels, there's, oh my gosh, there's all these different things, right? There's reselling, there's white labeling, all these different things. And they all help you to get referrals so you can grow your cash. But we want to pick the right model for you. And that's what we're going to go into over here is finding the right referral model so you can create this, right? And finally, we're going to look at how do we show your expertise, right? And this is something that, Payman, you and I, we've had a great talk about, because it could be like, I'm a copywriter. I help people to publish, copy and writing and content. In your way, you do podcasts, right? So showing expertise is about how do you stake your claim and demonstrate that authority that you inherently have. And this is really what I'm talking about, right? This is a combination of all of these, right? And I'm going to just switch the color here. Combination of all of these, when you create you awareness, when you create abundance, when you create hot leads, through going through all of these different points over here, yeah? What happens is that now you've got a system to create $10,000 of consistent revenue a month. And if you're already at 10,000, how would you like to add another 10,000 in a systemized way? All right? That's what we've got over here. And that's the program. The program is simply called 10K per month, because that's the result we're promising you, right? And we're going to show you in a step-by-step, color-by-numbers approach, how you can go through every single one of these steps and create, the revenue that you deserve so you can make a bigger impact out there in the world. This is not just about money, but this is about going out and making the impact, and making sure that your bills are paid, that your mouths are fed, and that you're able to live that life that you want for yourself so you can make more of that impact. Yeah. That's what we're talking about over here. That's the program that we've got. That's what I'm launching.
Beautiful. You know, what you said is basically pretty much very similar to what I've been able to do through podcasting, because podcasting does exactly all of that. Allows you to bring your message in front of your exact audience, gets you to share your story, display your expertise, stop chasing. The way I do it and the way I've been teaching my students is don't chase, instead invite. And
Yeah.
also I have a system that allows them to, an approach that allows them to get unlimited streams of referrals without even asking for it, because nobody likes to be asked for referrals. So all of that is really resonating with me, because that's exactly what I've been teaching my students as well. So I'm very interested and curious to see how you're doing it, because hey, I can definitely benefit from that as well. And this is something that we all need. We all need to be, as I said to you the other day, we need to differentiate ourselves, to elevate ourselves from the competition, to be seen as the expert, the authority, the leader. And how do you do that? So this is, I've been able to do it through podcasting, through publishing, and through being a cause-driven business. So, but that's one way, one powerful way that I've been doing it. So what you're saying is very similar to what I'm doing. So I'm very curious to see, to learn more about that. So that's very exciting. So keep telling us more.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look, what this is, we're going to cover all of this over a period of 10 weeks, right?
Okay.
Now, you'll get access to the content for life, but what we're going to do is we're going to run it with 10 weeks of group support, right? So you get to come in every week. You'll get all this content in one hit, so you can go through it at your own pace, but then we want to give you support. So there'll be calls, there'll be weekly calls where you can bring your questions and we'll solve them for you. There'll be a community there, so you can jump on, you can ask your questions to the community, we'll answer that in between the calls. At the end of the day, we want to hold your hand through this process, and we want to show you how you can do this yourself. So it's going to go over 10 weeks. For your guys' payment, anyone who's listening to this, if they message me or reach out to me with Payment as the Boss, I'll do a very special rate for them, right? So that would be something I'm happy to do. I'm happy to give you 50% off this particular program, because, you guys are all heart-centered, and I think it's a great thing to be able to get out there, and it's a little bit of a benefit for your listeners as well, right? So that's what we've got. This is really what we're looking at. So you're going to get 50% off. And if you want to know what the price is, hit me up. I'll tell you the price, and I'll give you all of that. And if it makes sense to you, then we can go ahead and we can move forward, right? But awesome. The other thing is that, look, you will get weekly Q&A, as I said. Okay, and you'll get a community. So that's really what it is. It's nothing too hard. In 10 weeks, you'll get the support that you need. And literally, you can watch, one of these modules a day. They're not long. There's not like 4 or 5 hour modules. These are going to be, 10, 20-minute videos max, right? So the idea is to implement. This is an implementation program. It's not a knowledge program. It's about, okay, I've learned it, and now I'm going to go and do it, right? Because the idea is that we want to get you to that 10K a month. That's exactly what we'd love for you to do. Yeah. So you watch a video, you go and implement it. If you've got questions, I may create additional support videos as necessary, or you can bring them to the Q&A calls, or you can just ask the questions in our group, in our community, and we'll all help you out. So that's really what it is. That's how it works, Payman.
Beautiful. When is this launching?
So we're launching today.
Oh, wow.
This is your auspicious day. We're launching it today.
Wow. Beautiful.
It's a very special day because today's my sister's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to her.
Yeah, no, thank you. And my sister is my sister's actually a natural therapist as well, right?
Oh, wonderful.
So I thought, what better day than to honor my sister than to launch this on a birthday?
Exactly.
So yeah, so this is a bit of a special day. She's a yoga therapist.
Oh, beautiful. So what would you say would benefit the most from this program?
Look, technically, anyone who's a heart-centered coach, anyone who's a health coach, a natural therapist, a healer, would definitely benefit. I mean, even if you're not, you would still benefit from all of this, and you're welcome to come and join me. But the people that I prefer and I like to work with are people who are in that natural health industry, right? That natural health healers, natural therapists, health coaches. But if you look at it, even if you're an agency, you could still gain benefit from this. Even if you're a relationship coach, the methodology is the same. Yeah. Even if you are out there as a consultant or a trainer, you would still use exactly all of this. Really, if you wanted to launch, this will help you to launch, right? However, my sweet spot and who I'm committed to really helping is healers, natural therapists, and health coaches. So those are my people. However, if someone comes along and they're heart-centered and ethical and have got a mission out there that's bigger than themselves, I would be more than happy to help them.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, from your experience, what's the number one challenge that coaches are facing nowadays?
The number one challenge that coaches are facing, I'm just going to take this off screen. That way you can speak to me and not my iPad. So I think the number one challenge that coaches are facing right now is that there's a lot of noise. There is so much noise out there. Yeah. And right now we're in a bit of an uncertain time in the economy. You know, it's not that there isn't any money out there. It's not that there isn't clients out there. But as the economy is a little bit shaky, as people are getting a bit uncertain, purse strings are tightening. And as purse strings are tightening, the noise is getting louder and louder and louder. So I think that's the number one challenge, is because in such a busy marketplace, how can you make yourself heard? I'd like to think of this program, the 10K a month program, as giving you the loudspeaker so you can yell above that noise. And what we're doing is not creating noise, we're creating value. And when value stands out above noise, people tend to pay attention. And that's what we're looking to do. So I think, yeah, if you're looking to rise above the noise, if you're looking to be heard, if you're looking to be seen, then this is the right place to be.
Beautiful. And how do you make your voice heard in this loud world with the ever decreasing attention span of people?
Sorry, I missed that last bit. What was that question?
So how can people make their voice heard in this loud world with the ever decreasing attention span of the average people?
So look, the heart of this program is all about building a relationship, right? The heart of this program is all about building a relationship. When you're choosing your client, when you're learning to understand them and you're learning to craft your message, you're building a relationship with your ideal clients. When you're out there extending invitations, when you're getting referrals and you're demonstrating your expertise, it's about strengthening that relationship. So ultimately, this is all about relationship marketing, and it's about relationship building. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be difficult. But when you understand that you're in this place, like, no one wakes up one morning and says, you know what, my dream is to become a health coach. My dream is to become a natural healer, right? It's because something calls to you. Something really calls to you. Something is driving you that is bigger and deeper than yourself. And for you to fulfill on that, it means, how do we take what you know, all that wonderful goodness that's inside your heart and your soul and your mind, and how do we connect that with people? How do we give that to people? And that comes through the power of building a relationship. So this whole program is around giving your ideal clients what they want by me giving you what you need the most.
Beautiful. Love that. That's awesome. Now, you mentioned about the challenges currently and the health practitioners are facing. Tell us more about that.
So there's a number of challenges they're facing. A couple of the big ones are that the world has been dominated by conventional allopathic medicine. And look, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing, because look, conventional and allopathic medicine took us out of the age of epidemics. It took us out from the place where we were dying of smallpox and dying of rabies and anthrax and things like that. But people now have a choice about how they want their healthcare to be treated. However, some people boil natural health down to woo-woo stuff, or they boil it down to as being witchcraft or witch doctory stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of wonderful people out there that have, that subscribe to this schools of thought, that have benefited greatly. I can talk about my friend who for 20 years couldn't play soccer because of, orthoarthritis. And within 2 months of, starting this natural therapy, he was invited to playing goals and he felt strong enough to go. And now he's a regular player on the soccer team. Do you know what I mean? I could talk about another client of mine who I recommended to, this particular Ayurvedic school that I'm studying with. She had a frozen shoulder for 6 years, right? And again, within 30 days, she had 90% range of motion by undergoing these range of therapies, right? So there is a natural way to heal and you've got a plethora of choices, right? But what's happened is that people don't realize that they have a choice. And that's what I think is the biggest problem facing, the natural health industry today, is that the ideal customers out there aren't aware that they've got a choice. They aren't aware that there are alternative options that are less invasive, less painful, less harmful, without the side effects.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. I really like how this, addresses the fact that people are struggling to be seen, to be heard, to stand above the noise, especially today where the marketplace becoming more and more competitive, the cost of advertising becoming increasingly expensive and all that. So if you have an approach to that, that's powerful. And I can see that this will solve all of that. So that's exciting. Now, if people want to connect with you or learn more about that, what's the best way to do so?
Yeah, look, I'll give you all my contact details. WhatsApp, you'll get a hold of me. It's a very personal connection with me.
Sure.
That's how serious I am. This isn't about going through a VA or anything. I'll give you my personal WhatsApp number. You can message me, right? This is about creating relationships, right? So I'm going to lead from the front. You can DM me on Facebook Messenger. You can hit me up on LinkedIn Messenger. So I'll give you all those details. But the quickest way to hit me is try WhatsApp. That's a really powerful way to hit me up. Yeah. You have my personal number. I just request that you don't call me at 2:00 in the morning and expect an answer, but you can certainly message me.
Keep in mind, he's in Australia. So if you're in the US and Europe, be mindful of the time difference, please.
Just message me. Send me a voice message. Either one's fine. I'll always be happy to line up a call with you.
Or you can do what I do. After 10 o'clock, I just turn off my phone. So you don't get unwanted.
Look, I do that. I do that. So
I got awakened a few times by some calls, and I learned my lesson. From now on, my phone is on silence 24/7. So
we do learn our lessons, don't we? Yeah. But look, I'm pretty accessible, and we're in a good part. When the US has their afternoons and evenings, it's my mornings, and when it's my afternoons, it tends to be early mornings in Europe and the UK. So we're not too bad. We can work things out. But as I said, just shoot me a message. I will respond.
Awesome. All right, my friend. That's awesome. This is super exciting. I can't wait to see how this pans out. I want to learn. Tell me more about that as well, because again, I'm all about helping good people with powerful messages and beautiful arts to win. And you're a great example of that. So I salute you. You're truly do the heart. Keep shining your light. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep blessing the world with your presence, your impact, with everything you're doing. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless you, my friend. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks, brother. Talk soon.
Pleasure on mine.